Hey, Javier, how are you?
Good. How are you, man?
I've been a real big fan of your work. You've been doing awesome work with what you do. Big
Hey,
admiration of what you do.
good. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you guys having me on here. It's an honor, and I really hope that everyone that's watching, they get a lot of inspiration and, just go through with it. You starting from where you started, I'm sure it wasn't very easy, but you put in the hard work and everything to learn, and that's just how it is. This isn't something that's from one day to the next. It does take many years of dedication. You got to put your sweat equity in and everything. So everybody out there that's watching, keep going, keep grinding, and do what you love. The outcome is there, and you guys will do great doing it. Just don't quit.
All right. So let's dig in. So basically, just we'd like to know more about you, more about your work, more about interesting on you, where you came from. How do you get into this business? So first, let's get started. Who is Javier?
Oh, all right, good. Well, with my background, I was a big into consumer electronics. So I used to do importing and drop shipping with Amazon FBA. So with that led me out to one of the conventions that I went out in Hong Kong. It's a big trade fair for consumer electronics called HKTDC. So I was out there, walking through the booths, and I ran into this technology. They were there, they were refurbishing Apple screens, they had Samsung screens and everything like that. So that is how I got introduced into the technology. And then me being a business owner, entrepreneur, I saw an opportunity with this. So I said, hey, you know what? This is something that is going to be the future. And I want to bring this back to my hometown. And I basically flipped my whole business from, drop shipping, e-commerce to now all full-fledged phone repair, refurbishing, and, retail location and everything. So that is pretty much the starting point on that.
Okay, but before what you were doing before? So you were doing drop shipping, but before that you were in technology as well, or just?
Yes, yeah. Prior to the phones, I was into consumer electronics. I would import like tech gadgets, like gimbals. I used to drop ship Bitcoin miners back in 2015. So from there, I would basically set up links on eBay, and people would purchase, and I would put orders in, and basically have them drop ship from Hong Kong or Shenzhen, where they were coming from, to people all over the world. I had buyers in Turkey and everywhere, like Bahrain and all over the world. They would buy these Bitcoin machines. So that was kind of like the first real drop shipping and business that got me from there. And then from there, I started doing laptop computers, like action cameras and all that. So, and then prior to that, I was in the wireless industry. So I do have a wireless background. I was with Verizon for about 6 to 7 years. So prior to that, I was in the retail corporate world doing sales, customer service. And of course, there was always technical questions, which me having a technical background, I'm tech savvy, I was able to assist and just grow from there, So there's a lot of different chapters that I've developed and I've learned and I've growth, and I've been able to use all those skills to get me to where I'm at today.
Excellent. So at the beginning, how difficult was to start your first business or move to drop shipping to put a physical location? How difficult was that transition?
It was really difficult because my drop shipping, I was able to work from home. As long as I had internet access, I can search the internet and everything like that. And then later on, the traditional transferring over to a retail, it was a bigger stepping stone, because I didn't have the funding to have a location just to go, all right, I'm going to buy a building and move in there, and here we go, retail. So we started mobily. We started with the little van. We had the van, I did everything. I set up Google listings, did all the SEO created a website, and did everything so people would find us, and we would drive out to our customers on site in our little transit van, fix the phones, give it to them, and, give them 100% customer satisfaction. me being with retail, I've learned a lot with satisfaction on customers, and you want to keep everybody happy. So we started mobilely, and then from there, it was just like, man, our volume's getting up. We got to get out of our little house. We had a little house and 1 bedroom. We did the repairs. So I started looking for a location. We found a great location here in Las Cruces in a nice prime area, and the rest is history. So we're here now, and through platforms like YouTube, Instagram, using all these platforms, we've been able to reach out to consumers, and that opened up a whole new, like mail-in repairs. So now customers mail in their phones to us from all over the U.S.
Oh yeah, that's great. So I like to hear. I mean, I see you start mobile. So many of us, we get into that fear of, if I want to start a business, I want a physical location. If I want a business, I want to have these tools and that tools, and knowing you, seeing you work that you do, and knowing that now that you start mobile is wow. I mean, so everybody can do it. This is not a budget thing.
Yes, it is. And it is a budget. You always want to have a forecast and have make sure that you're not going to be spending more money than what you can, especially in a startup, because the startup is like the most difficult part is you got to make sure that you spread your dollar as far as it can go, because if not, then you'll end up, being knee or water, and then you'll burn yourself out trying to, keep up with it. So, but for all of you guys out there wanting to start it, you can start it in your spare room, in your own room. All you need is a little desk. You don't need much desk, a little bit of tools, some plates, and you can start learning and, set up ads on Craigslist. There's different marketplaces we can advertise for free, and the people will come. Cell phones right now, it's a billion dollar industry. So, it's 4 billions and it's getting bigger. And then now with the phones going up in price, they're just expensive. So that brings a whole new recycling. You get the old phones and hand them down, and they're still great, So lots of opportunity, if you enjoy it, do it and have fun with it. The end of it is you just want to have fun with what you're doing and just enjoy it.
That's absolutely great. So in the beginnings, I want to take you there so that way people that are starting, they know it's a process. You didn't start fixing glass only, right? Or you did start fixing glass only, refurbishing?
Not at all. We were doing like the traditional repair shops where they do the LCD swaps. That was what I knew. Like when I was first repairing, when I broke my phone and I wanted to fix it myself, I was like, hey, okay, cool. You can buy the part on eBay or wherever you want to get it and swap it out. But then as the technology started getting more advanced, it's not cheap, especially for Samsungs. They own the technology rights. That OLED, that's Samsung. You're not going to get a Chinese knockoff on there. So there's no aftermarket parts for Samsungs. There's one part. As long as that OLED's good, the glass is broken. The glass is, if you have the technique and the trade, you can get that off and use your same OLED panel, which is, I call it black gold. It's a black OLED, which, it's worth some money. So just polish it off and let's get it back up and running. So then it'll last. So traditionally I did start just doing LCD swaps, and with that kind of opened up when I saw that in Hong Kong. So that just opened my eyes to see like, hey, you know what? There's actually layers on here. These are like sandwiches. If you want to take that meat out, you got to take it off and then just put another layer on top of it, and you're good.
Yeah. So how long you been doing cell phone repairs?
Cell phone repair, we're going on 5 years. So we started in 2016. So 2016. And, we're here 2021. Things have been going great, and, everything's just going good.
Yeah. So in 2016, you started doing cell phone repairs and swapping big parts, like most of regular pawn shops do, right?
Correct. Well, you know what? No, because when I really got into this, we started doing refurbishing. But in my past, I had experience with fixing some phones doing LCD swaps. Okay. But in 2016, we were strictly refurbishing. I bought all the equipment, I bought all the machines, and I said, hey, you know what? We're going to do it, and we're going to refurbish. Because so right away, we were all full 100% refurbishing when we started. So
right when you opened your first location, you were refurbishing, right?
Refurbishing. We were trying to learn how to refurbish. We were in the process of learning our skills, figuring out how to, remove the glass, how to clean the OLED from the OLEDs, and it was still something that we were doing, but we were swapping them out And then we would get the good OEM screens, and from those cores, we would start refurbishing. And that's how we picked up our craft and our trade and learned from our mistakes.
Yeah. So do you went to some trainings, or you basically by doing it?
Yes. Yeah. Yes and no. I first started off, YouTube videos, just watching people do it. Just to figure out the just to see the technique and what needs to be done. But the thing is, what helped me the best was getting trained. You got to go. I mean, it's you can learn some things, but there's a lot of things that you need to have a master watching you and making sure you're doing everything correctly, because you could put a little bit too much pressure that it's hard to see visually. You got to see it physically here. So but yeah, I mean, I did get trained after a year of us trying to learn by ourselves. I did end up going to Hong Kong and I got trained.
Oh wow. So how long does that training took you?
I took 2 weeks of training out there. So from there, I was able to master like the Oka cleaning process and the cleaning of the OLED panel. And then from there, we were able to, get everything laminated, because laminating and all that, that's an easier step. It's the most critical part is taking the glass off. And then of course, the cleaning process of the Oka.
Oh, wow. So you've been in business for about 5 years. You're doing great. How was last year? How was last year with all these? Last
year was great. You know what? We had a really great year. It was crazy with the pandemic. But the thing is, we had our website and everything set up for mail-in orders. So, customers would just click on a link, they get a quote. If they want to move forward, fill out a form, we email them a prepaid label. And, our numbers year over year have grown. We're like at about a 30% year over year growth right now. So, and it's just, I believe we're going to just keep on growing as a company and a business.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great. That's what business should do. Grow and expand.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, when you were fixing phones, when you were deciding, what took you to decide on going refurbishing instead of micro soldering, or just upping a chain of different software repairs?
Different repairs. I just did some research and personal research. I saw that, your phones are being dropped more than anything. We have our phones with us, and, it's going to break and it's glass. So I just decided to go that route, because a lot of the stuff that I was seeing was cracked screens, so that was just one thing that I just went in on, and we've been doing great with that. So soldering is another deal that I do want to get into, but that's a lot more intricate. So what you guys are doing over there is fantastic. The micro solder work and all that, that is a lot of intricate work where you guys need to know exactly what you're doing, which is amazing.
No, when I see you, I'm seeing the same thing. I'm seeing amazing. I'm seeing, wow. I mean, have that layer of, it's just paper layer, looks like. They moves everywhere. Yeah. And it's amazing what you do. Amazing. Real admiration of your work.
Thank you.
So when you opened your first shop, how many hours you were working? You were working just a regular employee, 8 hours?
Every day. I was working every day, all the time. I wouldn't go to, I'd be up working on phones. I'd be going to sleep, like 9, 10, learning how to do it. So getting started, I put a lot of sweat equity in getting started. And it's not something where you just go dabble in for an hour or two and then let it go. I was in there working. And then once I figured out a good process, then that's when I went ahead and advanced, and then hired technicians and trained them on what I knew on how to get this done, which has been even easier because you're able to delegate, instead of you being in the trenches, you're able to share that with other technicians that help out with that.
Yeah, for sure. So how many employees do you currently have?
Currently, right now, we have 5 employees. We have an administrator, we have 3 technicians, and then I have another video crew that does all our videos, and our marketing department as well. So, we have a full wide spectrum right now, and slowly adding more in as we need to.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah, because sometimes work, it just gets overloaded and it gets frustrating of knowing what to do.
It is. And then us being the owners, there's a lot of back end stuff that you really don't see. We have to take care of all the mortgages and bills, everything comes in, and the new technology. You know, me being a master, I have to, you know, go and experiment with the new devices that are coming out, and then get on them as soon as we can, so that we're already ahead of the competition, and I'm able to train my guys on how they do it, and we run with it successfully.